Hey everybody, we are live. Hope you guys can all hear me. We got cryptographics, we got Rich London. So this is amazing, guys. So I'm really looking forward to this today because I think ORX token is going to be extremely interesting. 1 second, I need to mute myself. Okay. All right, I think you guys can all hear me, and we're gonna start off in pretty much few minutes. And probably you guys have noticed something, and that is there's no other person in the other end. So I'm gonna be interviewing myself essentially, right? And by the way, by the way, I'm not the developer of this, right? To just make it clear, I think there was like some few people on Twitter thinking like I'm behind this project. No, I'm not. So I want to clear that on. And by the way, Jake is in this in the chat as well. He's watching the stream while on stream. Don't tell anyone. Okay, oops. I already said that, I guess. All right. All right, guys. So probably just I'm gonna start off as usual. Um, I mean, as always, at the beginning, what I always say is like, hey, if there's going to be any questions or anything, the Ouroboros developer is going to be in the Telegram chat. You can always go there and ask him any questions whatsoever. He's very, very. I'm not so sure if that guy sleeps a lot, to be honest, because anytime you pop into the chat, he will answer very, very quickly. So yeah, if there's going to be any questions here in the stream today, please don't hesitate and go to the Telegram and ask the questions there. And pretty much the Telegram is here, and also for the for Twitter as well. I just want to make sure that I actually made the right QR code, because I just made them a few seconds ago, and no, it seems they're both all working. Good day, Titans. By the way, here, Oscar. That's awesome. Let me see here. Jake. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me well. I have my Shure microphone on, so hopefully that is clear. But I think we should be fine. So yeah, I mean, let's get started. I mean, so here, this is also a nice picture. I believe I got it from the Twitter from Ouroboros. And by the way, I was told that I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's Ouroboros. Hopefully, it's clear now for everybody. But anyhow, so let's get started. There is an Ouroboros Foundation, and the vision for them is to launch many projects, but the first project is going to be the Ouroboros token, or in short ORX. And I believe the launch is going to be on the 11th of October. I haven't received the time yet, but this is the latest info I have right now. So let me just yeah, I think I got everything. I'm just I need to move some few windows around here, guys. So just 1 second. Alrighty, sorry guys. Yes. So so I mean, this is the latest info, 11th of October. So I believe that's going to be, if I check it right, it's going to be next Friday. Yeah. So next Friday, and I am going to update it also on the titanicsup.com as well. That's going to be the date. I believe also, I think I just got the message here as well. The time is going to be 11 p.m. I guess that's going to be UTC, if I'm not mistaken. But anyhow, if anything changes, or for that matter, you can always go to titanicsup.com and check it out. But this is the latest info I have right now. So the Ouroboros Foundation is they're going to be launching many tokens, and the first one is going to be the Ouroboros token, and then the second one, this is more like the protocol. It's going to be the USDx. So that's those are the two things which are very clear. All right. So how is this structured a little bit? So the way I structured not the interview, but how I structured pretty much everything else is we're going to talk a little bit about the Ouroboros token itself. And then the second part is going to be about the USDx protocol. This is something which is going to be launching after the Ouroboros protocol. Not sure exactly when that launch is going to be. So this stream today is going to be more focused on the Ouroboros token, and then afterwards we can talk about the USDX protocol more. But I will go also today. I will explain it a little bit. Yeah. So I'm also So the other thing is I will also show you on the testnet how you can take a USDX loan against your Titanix and DragonX. So that's going to be fun. I think I'm going to do the with Titanix. I think I have on the testnet. I only have Titanix if I remember correctly. But we can see later on how we're going to do that. Somebody is saying, "Hello, Ouroboros team. When are you doxing?" By the way, Aminu, yes, I'm not the person. I'm just explaining how the protocol works. By the way, so there's a team behind the Ouroboros, or it's actually one person. So. But if you have any questions, guys, just go ahead to the Telegram group. He's essentially, to my opinion, almost 24 hours there. So if you have any questions, just go to the Telegram and ask any questions, and I think it should be very clear for that. We're going to talk a little bit more later on regarding that. So I think there's going to be a lot more questions here regarding who is the team behind Ouroboros. Is the team known? He seems to be building since February, because this is a quite big project. And anyhow, I think we're going to jump on that a bit later on. I'm going to have a bit of my own opinion regarding that, and then we can probably discuss that. But before we get to that, I will be sharing first the Ouroboros token, and then later on we're going to check out the USDX protocol, and also later on we're going to take a USDX loan against Titanix. Anyhow, so let's get started. I think this is going to be interesting for sure, and you're going to see why. So let's get started. Ouroboros ORX token. So I think I mentioned was the pronunciation is I'm always like maybe this is wrong. So I'm definitely trying to Ouroboros ORX token. So recap, just I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a cap supply token. It's potentially going to be deflationary on day one, and you're going to see how and why. There's going to be 100% buy and burn. There's no Genesis cut. Once 10 trillion Titanix is reached, ORX is fully minted, so the earlier the better. It can be staked on the USDX platform, and that is obviously once that has launched. And it's also a fee sharing token in the beginning. So if you stake it, and long term is going to be a governance token. So this is essentially like kind of like the summary of the token. And this is all the information I got from the white paper, by the way. If you haven't seen the white paper, go to titanixhub.com, scroll down to the upcoming projects. You're going to see Ouroboros there. Click on the white paper and you can read the white paper. All the information I have here essentially is me asking like the team or the person behind it, the dev, and also just reading the white paper essentially. So you have that information as well. All right, so let's talk about the max supply here. So this is something I think on the white paper wasn't. I think it is clear now, but I think I haven't. Anyhow, so let's look at it this way, right? So there's going to be 1.3506 billion supply. There's going to be 1 billion of that is going to be going to the launch and participation mechanics, and we're going to talk about that because that's going to be the most important part of this whole video essentially, because that's the most important thing to understand. And then 600,000 tokens they're gonna go to the initial P, and then the rest of it. I guess I think I have to look up the white paper again, because I think it wasn't clear, but I think now things are cleared again. But I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to look it up right now, to be honest. But nevertheless, if something, I will update this if that's the case. But I believe I'm gonna visit the site, by the way. So I think there's another 200 million, and then there's another I'm just checking out 50 million pro here. So, and the 200 million, it's just an optional backstop rewards, and then the other part is, hold on guys, sorry, I'm just trying to find out in the white paper and stuff, and also I'm getting some information as well. But nevertheless, we can discuss that later. The most important thing is actually the majority of the supply is going to be going to the launch and participation mechanics, and that's the most important thing to understand. This other part here, I can look up exactly how the distribution here goes to once in the white paper, but the most important thing is the launch and participation mechanics, because that's where the majority of the tokens is allocated to. So let's check the launch and or / participation mechanics. And there's going to be 1 billion ORX token allocated to this. So this is exactly here. So that's the max supply. And then we have the launch mechanics. And that's that. I mean, I'm actually reading some of the comments as well, and it takes me a little bit away from the flow here. But nevertheless, we want to see the super shadow guy. When is he dox himself on live session? Yeah, he's not gonna dox. I'll tell you that. So that's the thing. Yeah, but we're gonna talk about that a bit later on, and give you a bit of my context to that. So they. So the 1 billion RX token, the allocated, there's two ways you can get the RX token, and yeah, the simple route or the Ethereum deposit. And if you go the simple route, which is just depositing your Titanix, 95% of the supply is allocated to that, right? So that's 950 million ORX. And then the Ethereum part, they only get 5% of the allocation of this 1 billion essentially. So let's take a bit more to the simple route, which is potentially the majority of people are going to be using, and that is, well, just depositing Titanix, right? So let's look at that. It's just fairly simple actually. So you're going to be sending in your Titanix, and then you're going to get your RX token after the vesting period. And we're going to talk a bit about that as well. So this is just important. And by the way, to just let you know what happens to the Titanix which you send in, right? Yes, 100% of that Titanix is going to be going to the BNB. Right, so this is going to be the case. Yeah, this is going to be the case, which is yeah. So it's going to be very simple regarding the buy and burn, but we're gonna go about the buy and burn as well. So for now, for now this is the case, which is you have your MetaMask, you're sending your Titanix to the smart contract, and then you get your RX after the vesting period, and 100% of the Titanix goes to the buy and burn. I think that's fairly simple actually, right? But now it gets a bit interesting. Once you send in your Titanix, now the whole thing actually starts, which is, I think, extremely interesting, right? So first of all, just from the get-go, there is going to be a 28-day waiting period before you can early claim your ORX token. So now probably you're asking yourselves like, okay, what is this early claim thing, right? And I'm going to explain that a little bit later. But now just know that there's going to be a 28 waiting period. And after 28 days, you can essentially mint your tokens if you want. But there's a thing which is, if you wait longer, you're gonna get more tokens. But we're gonna speak about that and maybe why the developer chose this mechanic. And the second party is going to be that your ORX token will vest over 52 weeks. So the maximum amount, if you wait the longest, let's say, so 52 weeks, you're gonna receive the maximum allocation. Which you're gonna receive the maximum allocation. And the other part is also regarding the exchange rate, right? Because you are sending in Titanic's and you get a particular exchange rate, but that exchange rate varies, and I'll explain a bit later. There's I'm going to show you exactly how that works, because there's the mint supply curve essentially. But like in general, how you could say this is, the earlier the better. I mean all these mechanics and stuff like that is like, you can just boil them down to like simple things, and the simple thing here is the earlier the better, right? And then the other part is going to be the vesting unlock curve. I'm going to explain that as well. We're going to go into detail how that works. But essentially, if you wait longer, you're going to get more ORX tokens, right? So you can do something like, how you call it? You can do, we can talk about laddering as well, because I think that's also something very important to that. So anyway, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the mint supply curve and the vesting unlock curve. But let's let's put this to the side a little bit, and let's go and check out the other route. So 5% of the supply does go or is allocated to the Ethereum deposits, right? So there is, especially for now, so I think we've spoken about it right now, which is, there's two routes. You either hand in your Titanic's, and then you have the vesting period, and then at some point you can, after the 28 days minimum, you can essentially claim your tokens, and you're just going to get them. So that's the one route. The other route is the Ethereum deposits, and this is also a bit interesting. So they have this thing called drip, and I'm going to explain why they call it drip. But essentially it works similar. Like, you send in your ETH, and then you get your ORX tokens after a waiting period. And then there's also this drip thing as well. So the waiting period here for Ethereum is 12 weeks. So that's 3 months in total. And and then the waiting time, sorry, I'm mixing things up. So there's a 28-day waiting period. Here on the drip side, there is a minimum waiting period of only 20 days. Is it? I think that's the waiting period is 21 days. So waiting period is 21 days. And then I guess this is now the vesting period, I think, right? This is just my names now, but nevertheless. So the way it works, right? Let me just pull this up a little bit. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. So the waiting period, the minimum waiting period is 21 days. And then after 21 days, you can gradually start claiming your tokens, right? But to get all of your tokens, essentially, you would have to wait for those 3 months in total. Right. I think that's I think it's clear for now, right? So the ORX token for ETH unlocks linearly after the 12 weeks, right? So after 21 days waiting period, it's linearly, you can start getting your tokens, essentially, right? So and also another thing is to note is the exchange rate for Ethereum is fixed. And for Titanic's, it's not fixed, and I'll show you how that works out. But I think it's going to be very clear for that. I think it'll be very clear for that. Exactly. So yeah, we talked about the exchange rate, and by the way, um, the limit for the total ETH is going to be around 369 ETH. So if I did the math regarding 5%, so you're gonna, yeah, around 369 ETH. So if the contribution is reached for Ethereum, you don't have to worry about anything. And if you keep on sending ETH to that smart contract, you're just gonna get it back. So like you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's probably something which I had to, yeah, like I think that's important thing to talk about. So now we're gonna head to, yeah, exactly. So what happens to the ETH, by the way? Well, that's fairly simple. And by the way, guys, it's right now just on the stream. It's me talking, because normally like I have another person on the other hand, so I talk and then the other person talks, but now it's just me talking. So yeah, that's that. But anyhow, so what happens to the ETH? Where does the ETH go? So 100% of that ETH goes to a multisig, right? A multisig, just it's a wallet where you need yeah, I think it's 3 out of 5 multisig, from what I read in the white paper. And yeah, so, and this is also the important thing, right? You need like people in the community who are known and trusted, because it's like, well, you don't want the ETH to go somewhere and then the dev just runs with it, right? So I mean, now obviously you have the dude from Helios and Eric from DragonX. They have the key, and obviously the Ouroboros dev. And this multisig, now this is where the ETH can flow into different parts. But I think the main part is when USDx platform launches, we need to have liquidity pool for that, and that's going to be the USDx liquidity pool. I think it's going to be with ETH, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, yeah. So I think this is the thing. So this is essentially where the ETH is going to be going, right? Because after you've minted your USDx, if you take a loan essentially, and now you want to like leave the yeah, it's like you need to have liquidity, so the token actually has yeah, is stable essentially, right? So but this is, I believe this is this part here is I'm gonna do another video essentially, or live stream, after the USDX platform itself has launched, because this will then come into play. And I believe I think the dev wrote to me as well that the USDX platform will launch 21 days after ORX token. So I think there is something about that. But anyhow, I think those information will come out more and more, and yeah, we can talk about that. So this is yeah. So to probably to do a little recap is yeah. So there's 1 billion ORX tokens allocated to be to either the simple route where you deposit Titan X, or the faster path, which is the Ethereum. And why is it faster? First of all, the waiting period is less, only 21 days. And then, yeah, and then you can claim it. You can start claiming it. Yeah, but I'm gonna have a conclusion as well at the end of this, so we can talk about that. So I think this was just yeah. So probably just to interject a little bit here regarding the buy and burn. Let's just talk about the buy and burn now, because I think that's going to be also important. And I think the buy and burn is going to be very similar to every other token, essentially. So I think yeah, so this is very bullish, I believe. I mean, you guys can see it, you can check out the white paper, but 100% of that tightening goes to the buy and burn. So there's no dev cut or anything here. So this is actually pretty great. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, we shall see how this is going to work out. But I believe it's going to work out pretty well if everything works as it should be. I mean, we're going to have the as usual, just like audits and everything is going to be very clear about that. And yeah, so I believe you're going to have an incentive fee. I'm not sure how high it is. I think I just put 1.5% now, but I mean, this is something which can also be like, I mean, I think on Hydro as well that there's a possibility where this can like be adjusted a little bit, right? Because if the gas fees start becoming extremely high, you need to be able to adjust this a little bit so that actually people call it, like, because otherwise if you don't have that, then people don't call it at all. So yeah, I think that's also something which Hydra has now, which is extremely important actually, because otherwise, yeah, when the gas fee is extremely high, yeah, you need to be able to call it. But I think that's going to be adjustable as well. This is all very similar to all the BNB, like Hydra BNB has that. I think that's the newest iteration of that. So anyhow, but yeah, a public callable function to buy and burn. Essentially, what will it do? It's gonna be. Oh, look, I have Vault here. Sorry, this is copy pasta issue. So ORX Titan X. So yeah, I mean, essentially, like it's going to be an interval, and that Titan X will go into the pool, and then it will receive. Oh God, it's vault all that place. Sorry guys, this is copy pasta. Receive ORX, and then 100% of that bought up ORX token will be burned. So that's that. I mean, I think if you are the reason why I'm probably explaining it now again and again and again, I think for most of people who are watching right now, you already know how this works, but there's newer people coming in, they need to hear this, how this works essentially, right? um so that's why I'm repeating this kind of stuff, right? So anyway, the buy and burn, I think, is fairly simple. It works very similar as the Hydra or the Dragon X or the Titan X. Gonna be a very similar one from my understanding. All right, now we're gonna go a little bit about the mint supply curve and the vesting unlock curve, because this is now where things start becoming interesting, because this is our like new tokenomics, or how new new supply actually, like how the supply gets minted. And this is going to be somewhat interesting, I believe. I mean, one of the reasons is I believe so it's I mean, you're going to see why. This is obviously my opinion, but you're going to see why. So let's probably just go back a little bit here, and what we're going to do is exactly. So it's like you send in your Titan X and you get your RX token after vesting period. So now let's see how that works actually. Oh, this is the vesting period, but I want to talk about this first. This is the supply curve. We're going to talk about the vesting period here. So I think, oh, here, this is the right point. The exchange rate between the ORX token and Titan X. So how much you have to spend, how much Titan X you have to spend to get the ORX token. And this is what we're going to be talking about right now. Let me zoom in a little bit. By the way, let me see what you guys have brought for chat now, because I'm mumbling so much here, man. It's yeah, I need to get used to this, right? So let me just see what people are writing. Uh, so what is, I'm ready to see. No, this is wrong. Okay. So so the only thing I'm seeing right now is like Mr. Shreyox. I do remember you, man, but I don't know exactly how to pronounce your name. Copy pasta. Yes, I like to say copy pasta. I think that's that. Anyway, guys, enough of that. So let's look at this mint supply curve. But I think it's extremely interesting. So first of all, let's see the ORX supply, right? So the ORX supply. No, I think I want to look at the green one, right? The green is essentially the Titanix per ORX token. So the way you're gonna see is, first of all, let me just say one thing. Once 10 trillion Titanix came into that system, there is no more supply. Like, I mean, they that's it. Like once 10 trillion came in of Titanix, it's done deal. That's it. Like there's no RX token more which you can get. So that's why one of the reasons I said that is let me just go back here. hopefully I'm not going back and forth, guys, for you guys. One thing I said is here. Let me just copy that, because I said it's a cap supply token, potentially inflationary on day one. And the reason for that is, we're going to go here. I'm just going to paste it in here, right? So the reason why I said earlier it's a cap supply token and potentially deflationary on day one is, once 10 trillion came into the system, there is no more tokens. There is no more RX token more to you can, the only way is like buying it off market now. So yeah, and so the thing is now is like, yeah, timing now is the most important thing here for now. So it's like you need to be there to mint it on time. So I'm gonna have a countdown timer on Titanic sub. Probably on the website itself is gonna have a timer. I'm not sure about that yet, but this is just something. I mean, you knowing it right, you know it right now, and you're gonna have whatever 6 days coming up, and one thing for sure is that the audit is going to be coming out first, for sure, 100%, and then you guys can have a look at the audits, and it's going to be from very reputable um, auditors, because that's the most important thing, right? Is like, who, let's put it this way, who has audited Hyper, Dragon X, and Hydra or something? I think the guy's name was called Dead Rose. So if I'm not mistaken, the audits is done by Dead Rose. It's going to be 2 audits, I believe, and one of them is going to be Dead Rose, and Dead Rose is the most, I think, I'm not sure, but it's like the majority of the Titanics project, I believe. I'm not so sure how many of those, but they've been using Dead Rose for everything. He's one of the top auditors out there, from what I'm hearing. So, and I mean, as you guys can see, like big projects, all the Titanics, billion Titanics projects have used them. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so either it's gonna be Dead Rose or somebody who's working with Dead Rose. Sorry, guys. I mean, this is something I just want to make sure. I think, but nevertheless, one of the most important thing is like it's gonna come out before the supply, before the launch, and that's the most important thing. But I think he's related to Dead Rose. Okay, so that's that. So how does this work? The first, and by the way, here. Uh, Early pays off. Why? Because the first 1.5 trillion, the rate is fixed, right? So if you're in this 1.5 trillion Titanics, is you essentially gonna get a fixed rate, and then after that, it's by volume. So the more comes in, the more expensive it gets, and then essentially at the end, uh, at the 10 trillion Titanics, at the end, it's the most expensive part. And then after the 10 trillion has reached, that's pretty much it, right? And so probably one another thing which is interesting to say is, once the Titanic's 10 trillion has reached, maybe the Ethereum part hasn't reached yet, because that has a fixed rate. Yeah, so if there is no 369 Ethereum in the smart contract, you could potentially go the ETH route to get some of the supply if 369 Ethereum didn't come in. The only thing is with the Ethereum path is, yes, sure, you get it earlier, but there's a downside to it, and the downside is there's only 5% supply towards that. So anyway, there's that. But the most important part here for you to know is that the more Titan is coming in, the more expensive it gets. And when we reach 10 trillion, that's pretty much it, right? So the question is now, when the launch happens, when will this happen? This is gonna be something. Yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Is like, you think it's gonna happen on the first day? Like, I don't know. Give your give write in the comments what you think. So it's gonna be interesting when this happens. So essentially, it can. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but that's why I said the potential deflationary, it can happen on day one, because if it happens on day one, then essentially it's gonna start when the buy and burn kicks in, essentially start becoming deflationary straight away. But let's say whatever, it doesn't happen on the first day, it happens on whatever day, but on second day or third day, I don't know. So one other thing is like, the other question I'm asking myself is like, how this is something I haven't thought about yet. So, but I'm just thinking as I'm telling you guys, and that is, um, how long is this thing open then? Because let's say we don't reach the 10 trillion, it's like, is it gonna be open ended until the 10 trillion is reached? Well, I guess so, right? I mean, that could be the case, right? It's just gonna be open ended until the 10 trillion reaches. I'm not sure how the code is written, but that could be interesting. But nevertheless, one other thing which is interesting, after the 10 trillion has reached, um, potentially there's still going to be so you still, the thing which going to happen is you can still, potentially what could happen is like you can still do the ETH route. And since you know the exchange rate, you can check what you get in the on the open market, and check if this rate is better, right? But you still have to account the vesting period, right? Well, you might get it cheaper, but you still have to get the vesting period. So that's that. I mean, those are the things I guess you have to and do that. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. All right. So let me just say here, there's somebody saying, just curious, why isn't the founder doxing themselves as BOT project are doxed early in the year? We removed the project that wasn't doxed. No. I think this was from the get-go. Being doxed was not a mandatory thing at all, right? If on Titanix Hub, always was the case is you follow the BOT rules, you present the audits, and then that's those are the things which are asked for, essentially. And this is exactly how it's going to run this way. And at the end of the day, it's like you do not have to participate in anything, really, to be honest with you, right? So, because one thing which I've seen is also, I mean, I'm going to talk about this point a bit later on, because I have a bit of my thoughts regarding that. But anyhow, so yeah, so this is now essentially the mint supply curve. I think it's, I mean, the first one doing this kind of launches. So I have a conclusion regarding this as well, and we're going to talk about that, right? Yeah, and then the first 1.5 trillion of that is the same rate. You can see it here. Yeah, and then here you can see the supply, how it goes. So yeah, I mean, in the beginning it's more, and then it flattens a little bit. Anyhow, so this is now how if you are going the Titanix route, this is how the supply is going to be. And obviously for the ETH route, it's a fixed rate, essentially, right? But there's also like how much Ethereum comes in is also capped. All right, let's talk about the vesting period, right? So if you're going the Titanix route, you need to wait, right? And the longer you wait, the more money, well, the more ORX tokens you get, right? And that's the vesting or unlock curve. So let's look at this. How does this work, right? So we have here, so this is the initial no vest period. So I believe this is the 28 days. Yeah. So if you start your mint, you need to wait 28 days, and then you can wait longer. And the longer you wait, so this is linearly, you wait, and the more you can get, the more you can mint, essentially, right? The more you can mint, the more you can mint. And now this is how many days is this? 180 days, I believe. Is that 180 days? Potentially, that's 180 days, right? Or 52 weeks. 52 weeks is 365. Okay, but I guess yeah, that's probably like that's 6 months now, if I'm not mistaken, right? 360, yeah, so 182 days, 0.5. If it's 365 days, the whole period. But essentially, so it's linearly in the beginning, and then it blows off at the end. So the longer you wait, the more tokens you get. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, yeah. So so this is the vesting period, but and now probably you could ask yourself like, what happens now if you yeah, like early claim, because that's essentially a thing. What happens, right, is early claiming, right? So if you early claim, and I will show you it in the UI as well, but it's fairly simple, guys. Maybe I'm just making it harder as it actually is, but it's actually fairly simple. So it's like there's 28 days you need to wait, and then you can mint your tokens, but you can wait longer, and the longer you wait, you get more tokens, and this is the distribution, right? I mean, I think this is I like this very much actually, and potentially okay, I don't want to say too much, but I like this quite a lot, and yeah, so this is what happens. I think this is pretty much clear, guys. If there's any question regarding this, please just ask it. But yeah, this is the thing. So now let's get to the conclusion, right? And also have some few tweets here regarding yeah, from Ouroboros itself and Trader Lee, right? And the conclusion here. Okay, yeah. Here, so sorry, just to interruption here. I mean, vocal docs wouldn't hurt if the dev wants to maintain his privacy. Do we have founder's social handle, Mike Dean? Yeah, yeah. I mean, essentially, if you go on Telegram, on the Ouroboros Telegram, you can find his handle, and you can ask any questions there. And he's very vocal on Telegram. I'll tell you that. And I mean, I guess even if you ask anything on Twitter as well, I think he's gonna give you questions. I've seen a lot of people asking questions on Twitter as well, and he always answered. So that's that. Yeah, so let me just go to the conclusion. Okay, so this is now but also said that okay, this is obviously something which he said as well. I think Damien, are you, hold on, were you in the stream earlier on tweeting about I don't know. Okay, sorry guys, I don't know. Yeah, but let me see. So the dev said someone is going to represent him as a person if folks need to see someone. Yeah, I believe so. I don't know, if I'm not sure, but if I'm not, like, I think one of the stream like back in May or something with Eric. Eric said he's gonna represent that, but I'm not so sure. Unfortunately, Eric is sick, and we were actually supposed to do a stream today, but Eric is unfortunately sick. By the way, Eric, get well soon. We're missing you on the stream, man. You haven't streamed for a while. What's wrong with that? Yeah. So that's the question. All right. So the conclusion here, guys. Yeah. I think Eric was saying that. So, yeah. All right. So conclusion. Sorry, guys. I mean, it's much easier if I have somebody on the other hand to to talk to. But anyhow, conclusion is the ORX launch mechanics is actually designed to fill in on day one, right? So the earlier the better, right? And sure, the ETH unlocks first, is drippable linearly and caps out after 3 months. That's true. And another thing is, like, of course, the Ethereum contribution unlocks first, but is much less severe in size because there's only 5% of the supply goes to the ETH route. So even though they have like a bit of like an advantage of the unlock and stuff like that, there's only 5% to them. So that's that. And if you want to be an ORX whale, there's only actually one way. You need to use Titanix. There's no way around it. Like you need to use Titanix and you need to wait the longest. But you can use laddering. This is something important, right? Which is Trader Lee is talking about it here. And we're going to go through the laddering part. And this is also wrong, Dead Rose. I think it's somebody, I think he was working with Dead Rose, one of the auditors. But anyhow, I think I got mixed up with Dead Rose earlier. So that's what I'm saying. One thing for sure is like, I think there's going to be 2 audits, and the audits are going to be coming out on, I don't know, I think next week or something, if I remember that correctly, next week sometime, definitely before the launch. So you're going to have enough time to look at it and see how that works, how the audits are and stuff like that. 1 second, guys. Yeah. So all right, let's look at the what I have 2 tweets here. One from Ouroboros. Yeah. And yeah. So let me read out what Ouroboros protocol wrote. There's one of the hidden aspects of ORX. We stand in the shoulders of giants, and the distribution method was refined over a month by looking at what happened in other launches. That is true. And that is, we've seen what 90% BNB does to the chart thanks to Inferno. We have 100%. We have now 100% BNB. We've seen what limited supply differential chart looks thanks to DragonX. Oh yes, we've seen that, and I'm happy about that one. I'll tell you that. We're now seeing what super tight emission cycle looks like thanks to Volt. Yes, absolutely. And ORX has it all in one, but a little bit more aggressive and with extra bells and whistles because of lockups and vesting periods. Yes, and that's pretty much it, right? The best, the bells and whistles is actually the lockups and the vesting periods, and I think I hopefully have done a good job explaining it as good as possible. And I mean, I'm seeing people understanding it. Why? Because there's no questions here in the chat. So I believe I've somewhat made a somewhat good job because there's no clarifying questions here. Like people are not understanding it. So I think it's fairly simple, like to understand it. But it's, yeah, as I said, it's a bit more aggressive. Well, I don't know about the bit part. It's quite aggressive, my friend. So instead of 90% BNB, we have 100%. That's one. And then ORX is probably going to have a total supply of less than 400 million in the long run, maybe even 300 million. So I'm seeing here Aminu is saying, give me some moon math. I trust the code. Well, I mean, the moon math is, I've talked about the moon math. I mean, first of all, I don't do moon math, but one thing I'm telling you is there's going to be 100% buy and burn, as you've read. So that's the moon math right there. There's going to be a total supply of less than 400 million in the long run, maybe even 300 million. So there you go. That's another moon math you can essentially go about. So, and then the supply schedule is rate based instead of time based. So rate based or like volume, probably volume based as well, right? I mean, it depends how much volume comes, and then after 10 trillion, it just cuts off. So we might see a total emission cap reach at the end of day one. Yes, and this is something which I mentioned earlier on, right? Which is, it could happen that on day one we're going to reach that supply. So let's talk a little bit about the laddering. Did I write correctly? Hopefully that's all right. And this is something what I essentially Trader Lee here talks about, and I just want to read that out. And Trader Lee wants to become an ORX whale. And how is he going to achieve that? And I'm more willing to wait the full 52 weeks for maximum allocation. So the question is like, okay, how are you going to do that? And so the way to do this is laddering. But the laddering part is genius because let me just read it out first. And then, so I will be splitting my Titanic's deposits into 10 parts so I can claim one when an opportunity arises while keeping the rest locked in. There you go, guys. I mean, essentially, that's the laddering. There's no much more to say than that. So the beauty of this is you can do the laddering, but the unlocks, there's no, you can unlock them anytime you want. So that's the beauty of it. It's like you can unlock them anytime you want. So this is one of the things here which I think extremely thought out, because you can have, let's say, one of your, is it mint now, or one of your deposits, right? Yeah, one of your deposits, one of your Titanic's deposits. You can wait the full 52 weeks if you want to, and then some of other ones you can just maybe a day comes and whatever you need some whatever you want to do, like you can unlock them as you want anytime. So I think this is pretty cool as well, and the laddering is fairly simple. All right, guys, so that was the ORX token. So hopefully it's understandable. We're going to jump into the testnet and actually show you how it works. I'm part of the testing of it. So let me just jump to that before we jump into the USDx protocol. It's going to be very brief today regarding the USDx protocol, but I'm going to do another stream when the USDx protocol is about to launch. I think that's going to be a much better way of doing it, because otherwise I'm going to be here for 2 hours, and I bet with you guys are already sick listening to me. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to jump into the testnet. So I'm going to share this tab instead. So here right now we are in the testnet, guys. And this is going to be the ORX mentor. Yeah. Oh, we have a question here. And hold on. Is this loading now? Did I click the wrong button? Okay. No, I think it works. So we have a question here. Adamos. So Titanics in BNB will be held over what period of time? 10 trillion would last over a year, or commission from landing will be used in the BNB as well? Okay. I mean, 100% of the 100% of the Titanics will be going to the BNB. So there's going to be interval which can be set like the same way as like Titanics, right? So I mean, the interval can be shorter and the amount can also be triggered. So yeah, I mean, you can think what will happen yourself essentially, right? But you know for sure 10 trillion is directly going to the BM, like buy and burn. That's for sure. Like everything which comes in will be straight to the to the buy and burn. And now through the vesting, because the first people who can claim the tokens is after 21 days, the Ethereum. And then there's going to be the 28 day where other people can claim their tokens, but they need to they're not going to get their full allocation, so they need to early end stake. And the early end stake is essentially just like, yeah, you can get your tokens, but not the full allocation, because you have to wait 52 days. And also, another thing which I think I forgot to say, oh man, I think I forgot this one. Am I showing? Yes, I'm showing the screen here. So another thing which I think I forgot to mention is, I'm just going to say it really, to be honest, but I'm not going to draw anything, which is, if you don't wait for the whole 52 weeks, right, you can early end stake. And when you early end stake, your future part will be sent to the forfeit address. So it's just a multisig where essentially that part which you didn't get is going to be going to that token. To that, it's a multisig, and yeah, they're just going to sit there. Yeah, so here, okay, just the question: how aggressive is the BNB and how is it managed? Yeah, it's going to be managed similar to Titanics and Dragonix. So essentially, I think like the Titanix V2. So there's going to be interval which can be set, and and then pair swap, right? So that those are the knobs which can be adjusted by admin essentially, like similar to Dragonix, Titanix, or Hydra. Uh, yeah, so that's that as well. Anyway, let's go back to the Minter. So when that is live, what's going to happen is you're gonna you're gonna visit this website here, and then the first thing you're gonna do is let me see if I can mint some tokens here. Hold on, what's going on? Yeah, so guys, this is still the testnet. So, so hold on a second. Is my hold on, is either my I think it could also be that my my battery is gone. Damn, would that be the case? Okay, I think, or maybe I need to disconnect here because okay, so I mean, yeah, I need to connect my wallet. I think it's not connected. Is that correct? Okay. Okay, I think. Well, I don't have any Titanics, or do I? Guys, this is the testnet, by the way. So I need to mint like some tokens. Oh, my wallet is not connected. That's the problem. It's the wrong wallet I'm connecting to. Okay, sorry guys, it's my problem here. It's my issue. I think this is the right. I think this is the right one. Sorry guys, I think it's more my issue now because I used another. Okay, there you go. Sorry guys. So that other address is the address which I did not have. I'm sorry. This is it's is it user? Oh yeah. So it's a it's once again is the user who in front of the screen. All right, guys. So sorry, it was my issues, guys. Is I had the wrong address here. This is the testnet, by the way, and yeah. So anyway, let's say I don't know. You put in whatever, how many amount? I don't know. Is that 1 million? Okay. So let's say you're going in. You're going in with $355. Yeah. So that's that. Yeah, so estimated ROI, estimated, this is how much ORX token you're going to get. And so now, let me see. So this is the estimated ROI. And now you just do click deposit. So I just deposit. Let me see. You're not seeing now my wallet here, but it popped up and I'm signing now. So I've just signed now. So I'm depositing the Titanix into the network, and I'm gonna wait a bit. Oh, by the way, I've already have some mints running here. By the way, yeah. So maybe I should have used another wallet to be honest, because now something. So let's probably just wait a little bit because we're in the Sequoia testnet, guys. So this takes a bit. But once you're gonna see, or is it there already? But anyhow, so this is one of the deposits. So I have 3 different deposits, which I did, I think one yesterday. I was playing around with it. And this is, you're gonna see how much you've deposited, and then this is the early claim penalty. So when you claim ORX token, which have you see, okay. So this is the new deposit. So this is the laddering, essentially, which I was talking about earlier, which is here you can see deposit successful. So that just happened. And so these are the different deposits. So this is the laddering. So essentially what you could do is, as you can see here, whenever day you went in, I guess you have to wait 28 days. Yeah. So 28 days is not a fixed day or something, is when you, whatever time you have entered, 28 days later. So this is how it seems, because you just saw what just happened here. And here I have to wait 25 days because I did it, well, I guess 3 days ago, right? Well, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Was it 3 days ago? I don't know. But anyhow, yeah, essentially that's that. So this is the deposits here. So the different ones, I've made some different ones here, and then you can see the ROI, and then you can do this forfeit. So let's say I've waited 28 days and I want my tokens now. So you can click the forfeit, which is so you can see here the ORX token are claimable for at least 28 days. You can choose to claim as early as, and then you can see the date there and the exact time. So when you do that, you're just gonna get your tokens, and obviously you're not gonna get the full allocation. You're just gonna get whatever allocation at that time, essentially. So that's that, and then let's go to the drip or RX, and that's when you deposit ETH. I'm not gonna do it now because I've already done it. You can see. So this is the VAST token. That's where Titanis comes into play, and then you have the drip version. This is Ethereum when Ethereum comes into play. So potentially once the deposit for Titanis is reached, the only way you can get it with the ETH, but ETH can also be could also be already finished as well. Well, then you have to just buy it off market. Yeah. So that's that. There's another place here for onboarding. I guess you can use that too. I think if a user deposits Titanics after following your link, yeah, so it's like an onboarding link essentially. Yeah, so you can work on that. And then you have the buy and burn here. Yeah, so you can see here the interval. It's interval, so every 15 minutes. How much Titanics will be used for the buyback, and then this is the amount, how much is in there right now, and then people can trigger it. It's just a public thing, but now it's in public mode, whatever. But anyhow, so that's the case now. So you have the vast, you have the drip aura x, you have the onboarding, you have the buy and burn. I think that's pretty much it. So I guess that's pretty much on the aura x token minting, and that's we exactly 1 hour now. So hopefully you guys have understood it a little bit, because now I'm gonna take a bit of sip of my tea, and then we can go to the next section, which is the USDx minter. I'm gonna keep it very brief today because USDx was, yeah, first hour is done exactly. So let me just go back, and then yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the USDX protocol, because that's essentially, um, yeah, what actually this is the bigger project. I mean, this is the reason why the dev has been deving since February until now. And the reason why is because, well, it's just yeah, like a project which needs a lot of attention, and there's a lot of things which, yeah, like it's just a complicated thing which needs to work. I mean, it's fairly simple from the user standpoint of view, but to make it work in the background, it's essentially, yeah, quite yeah, I mean, that's why one of the reasons like why I'm excited about this project is like there's so many things you have to think about, and really you have to go really really deep in a lot of these things, right, to really understand it, how it works, and a lot of things, like, right. But I mean, that's why one of the things I'm really excited about. But anyway, USDX is a decentralized multi-collateral borrowing protocol that allows you to draw interest-free loans against Titanix, Dragonix, and others as collateral, with a one-off fee charged at the beginning. I mean, that's essentially the summary of what the USDX protocol is. Um, and probably to just give you a little bit of context as well, it's not it's just not a fork of Liquidity. Liquid is another protocol which is going to be very similar to this one. So a lot of the parts are already working, and that was from the Liquidity fork. But Liquidity fork uh, is normally just one collateral, right? And to make it multi-collateral, that is the innovation, and that is the innovation which the dev essentially has done. And now the beauty of it is now you can use Titanix, Dragonix, and also other things can be added. So I mean, and others. So others is new tokens which come out in the ecosystem can essentially be integrated, right? And that's one of the things. So probably you're gonna maybe you're gonna be asking yourself how this actually works. I'm not gonna go really deep today how it works because I haven't even prepared for that, to be honest. But essentially, like how does it work in real life? Essentially, if you wanna borrow against your collateral, imagine you have a house, and I think the most important one is I mean probably the home equity loan, right? I mean, let's say you have a house, a nice house, and I don't know, let's say it's like 200K, 200K worth, 200K, 200K. All right. And what do you do? Yeah, you need money now, and let's say you've paid off your mortgage, right? Even if you haven't paid it off, you can still take in home equity loan. But nevertheless, let's say you have something of value, and that's the house in this case, and you want money, but obviously you don't want to sell your house, right? So I mean, the way it works in the real world is you the bank allows you to borrow against that equity. That's the house, whatever, which is 200K worth, and you just get the money as a lump sum, and yeah, you just make regular payments to pay back the loan, well, obviously with interest, and your house acts as a collateral for the loan. But I mean, just know like how this all works is like you need to go back to the bank, you need to go to the bank, you need to hand in the papers. The bank probably sends an appraiser. I think, is it an appraiser? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right word. A person sends and they check your house and they say like, oh, in this neighborhood, whatever, oh, it is really 200K worth house. And then he writes a report and you hand in and then you get the money, right? And then you get the money, but the bank now has your collateral, as your house as collateral, right? So how the USDx system works, it very simply very simply is somewhat like an home equity loan. The thing about home equity loan is though, it's not mark to market, right? The bank is not constantly watching how much they're going to be getting, how much they can get for your. Imagine you borrowed 100K, right? So that's like loan to value, whatever, 50%. Let's say that's your loan. The thing the bank knows is your house is 20K. They're not like, and first of all, it's not practical because houses are not constantly, you can they are the houses, how much they are and stuff like that, it's more like an estimation in that area, right? It's not like it's not traded. Your house is not a tradable good, like gold or like Bitcoin, like 24/7. It's not a tradable good 24/7. So when they give you that loan, is like they are not constantly watching how much your house is. Like even if the house prices drop and your house is worth 100K now, they're not going to liquidate you. They're not going to become, is like, hey, get out of the house. Your house is now only 100K worth, and we need to yeah, you need to get out of the house because we need to sell, because now our money, like your house is now exactly high as collateral. Normally that doesn't happen, and the reason why it doesn't happen is like it's actually really hard to sell a house. It takes time and you need to, but the thing is, like, the other part is like, imagine that's like your whatever, your collateral, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or anything, or Titanix is tradable 24/7. So when the price drops and your collateral is the same as your loan, you need to get liquidated so that the whole system start functioning. I mean, this is now like, yeah, my explanation how the system works, very very simply, regarding home equity loan, but it's actually a bit more. There's more to that, but I want to do another interview because today I want to keep this maximum an hour and a half. And the main reason why I did this interview today is because of the ROX token, because that's the most important thing. And then the other part, which is also very important, obviously, because the USDX protocol is actually the real product. But nevertheless, we're going to have a token, which is the ORX token, which will be used in the USDX protocol, but it's not directly needed. So the speculation on the RX token can still happen because we have 100% buy and burn, right? So that can happen independent of USDX. But the beauty of it is like when the USDX protocol launches, that RX token can now be a fee sharing. Like you can stake your X token into the USDX protocol, and you can start earning fees. Like there's a one-time fee to take the loan. So that is pro rata distributed to the people who staked the RX token. So that's something important I just want to say. But nevertheless, like the token itself and the platform, essentially they're independent of each other, but they will complement each other when they all launch. So that's the main point I wanted to drive home. And the USDX protocol, simply speaking, is you send in your Titanix/Dragonix to the USDX protocol, and then you get the stable coin, which is the USDX. That's the and it is pegged to $1. And the peg, how that functions, and how it's pegged to $1, that's now the whole system. And this is how I would have to explain how liquidity works, because it's a fork of liquidity with a lot of improvements. But essentially I would have to explain that. But is I think today I don't want to go into that too much, because I would have to spend a bit more time to do the drawings and also explain it very simply, because it's somewhat bit complicated. It's simple enough, but still complicated to get it going. But nevertheless, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how to take a loan with USDX in the testnet. So let's look at that. Is there any questions, by the way? Hold on. So we need to claim our X before we can stake it. Oh, yes. So the only way you can stake your tokens is if you've claimed it. So so this is, I mean, now do you see um like how all this system works right now? It's like, for you to able, if the USDX protocol launches and you want to stake, like you need the tokens. And but now it's like waiting longer will get you more tokens. But if you want to stake, you have to like early claim. So like there is a lot of game theory into that as well, right? Anyhow, that's one of the questions. So let's go to the USDX minter. Let's look at that. So this is gonna be interesting. So let's look what's going on here. So on the left side, you have the ecosystem asset balances. So so you have ETH. Yeah, so this is my ETH essentially. I have 0 RX token, or I have a lot of Titanix. I have 0 Dragonix. I have a bit of baby Dragonix. And I took a loan already. And so there you can see it. The loan is $1,980. So that's the loan which I took. But I'm going to show you later on how to actually take a loan. And for now, I have already taken a loan. Oh, sorry, guys. I have to. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I have to like press the share button, so that's why I'm sorry. Here, so let me restart again. So you have the ecosystem asset balances. You have your ETH, you have your ORX, you have your Titanix, your Baby Dragon X, and USDX. This is what I was talking about. This is actually essentially what's in my wallet right now. So there's that. I mean, and this is the testnet, by the way. And Liam, thank you, by the way. Yeah, and then here, the thing is, I have already opened like an account, so that's why you're seeing things which, yeah, I think I should have made a new wallet. but now it's a bit too late, to be honest, because I would have to send into another wallet, and then I think we just have to roll with it. And the thing is, like, the main point for this stream was more regarding the ORX token. I just want to show you the USDx minter to just get you going. But anyway, you have the top point here is the USDx minter. So this is where you take your loan, and then this is there's a tab here for liquidating. So if, as I said earlier, right, imagine you have a house, and then the house prices drop, and then the bank, essentially, because the USDX acts as a bank, they'll have to liquidate you. But this is all decentralized, right? So it's a system where no person acts or something like that, right? It's all a system which works. So there's a liquidator here. We're going to talk about that. And then there's redemptions, USDX staking. So this is the staking part. You can also stake your USDX yourself. So you can hand in your Titanics, take a loan, and then put it back into the staking. So that's that. And then here is the ORX staking token. And then you have some stats, and there's also going to be some yield farming, which you can do. And this is independent of Titan Farms, by the way. This is just another yield farming opportunity here. Maybe I'm going to go about that. But anyhow, so I have already taken a loan, right? But you know what? I can take another loan with Baby Dragon X. Let's see how if that works. So now you haven't borrowed any USDX yet. So for Baby Dragon X, I mean that's why essentially it's for every asset, there's going to be different trove or different accounts for every asset. It seems to me right like that right now, because if I go to Titanic's, I can see I've already taken a loan here. That's why you see this. But I would like to do it with Baby Dragon X because I have some here. Yeah, and then you can see actually how the system works. So I'm gonna open an account. So it's like it's just a trove, or it's just like an address which is assigned to your address, to your public address or MetaMask address. If you So now I'm just gonna say, I don't know how much am I gonna take. Oh, by the way, the minimum borrow amount is 1,800 USDX, which is pegged to the dollar. So I'm gonna say like this is how much I want, and I'm gonna take, I don't know, let's say $3,000. Yeah, exactly. So, oh, look at that. Okay. So I mean, I'm just playing around a little bit here, but it seems rather that for different collateral, there is a ceiling how much you can how much I think it's a system wide ceiling how much loan you can take. Sorry, guys. So I mean, this is something I'm just figuring out right now as we go. But nevertheless, let's say I'm taking $3,000, and why I mean, guys, you have to know, right? Taking a loan, this is a form of leverage, right? And I think we've heard everybody has heard what's the famous saying, the 3L, like how to ruin a man is like ladies, what is it? Ladies, liquor, and leverage. Yes, there you go. Ladies, liquor, and leverage. So you have to know exactly what you're doing. So you have to and the most important one is the collateral ratio. Like that has to be, I mean, you can my head works better with loan to value, and I mean, they use another system, which is the collateral ratio, which is essentially the same thing, but I like more loan to value because it makes more sense for me. Because let's say I have $1,000, and like my collateral is currently $1,000, and I'm gonna take only 1% of that as a loan, let's say. I mean, obviously, the loan now amount is minimum 1,800. But anyway, my head works better with loan to value than this collateral ratio. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna take the loan now, and then there's a borrowing fee. So there's a one-time fee in the beginning, right? And I'm just gonna, yeah, you can set it here. So there's a minimum which is 5%, and you can set it up for more. But I'm just gonna leave it at 5%. I'm gonna approve. Let's see, do I have enough Sequoia ETH? This is testnet ETH. Let me sign that. So what we're gonna see is this number has to grow. So I mean, I have to approve first. And by the way, I think the developer is also watching right now. So I bet with you, his his heart is pumping right now. Which is so the first transaction was to approve. Now we're gonna confirm. So come on, come on. Da 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 da. Okay, I think no gas. I don't have enough. Hold on. I don't have enough ETH? Sequoia ETH? Ah, come on, really? Let me do normal. Okay, I think I need to pay a lot of. I mean, the dev is currently watching, so maybe can he send me some Sequoia ETH, please, sir? How come I have? I don't know what happened. How did I spend? I think I had quite a bit of ETH here, but it seems, yeah, it seems now the testnet. The testnet Sequoia, like there's people chasing airdrops on Sequoia ETH, and that's why it's the gas fees are extremely high. Normally, the gas fees on the testnet is extremely low, but I think last week or so there's like some stupid rumors regarding airdrops, and that's why everybody's chasing the airdrops on Sequoia. Oh my god, it's crazy. But I don't have enough ETH here, so let me see if the dev is also watching. So maybe he's gonna send me some. Guys, is it clear for now? So I'm just gonna cancel this for now. I mean, it's my fault, guys. I should have had more ETH here to do this. But oh, did I receive more ETH now? Did this thing grow? Oh god. Yeah, let me view that. Yes. So the dev heard my prayers and he sent me some ETH. This is beautiful. Thank God I did not. I just did not stop. I just continued. So this is good. Okay. So now, guys, what happened? I took a loan. Ta-da! And I took this much loan. So now this number should actually increase now. So let me maybe he does. Let me just refresh. Hold on, did I? Hold on. Sorry, guys. This is still the testnet, by the way, man. It's like maybe I shouldn't even have done it. So did I take the loan already? Oh, sorry. Look at that. There's a waiting period before the USDx is claimable. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I mean, once again, it's my fault not looking at it, But yeah. So here we would have to wait now for 8 minutes. So I'm not sure if that's gonna be important, but I mean, okay, you know what? While we're waiting here, I'm gonna go back to the Titanic's version because then I can show you how that looks like after you've taken the loan. Because here you can see I've taken the loan already. So that's Titanic's. I'm still waiting. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that it's gonna show something else, but I guess we have to wait now a little bit. Okay, while we're waiting, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to get other stuff here. So now this is the liquidation platform. So this is, you're gonna see now, this is all the people in the whole ecosystem who have taken a loan, and you can go to DragonX. Is there any loans? Oh yeah, people, yeah. And then if they're liquidatable, essentially this is the health, right? Right, and if the health drops, you can liquidate people. And this is a public callable function, by the way. And when you do it, I think there is there like a little fee you get? I guess so, right? So, and this is positions below 110 in normal operation and 150% in recovery mode can be liquidated. So this, it's a public callable function which you can liquidate people, and I believe you get some kickback of that as well. So let me see on Baby Dragon X. Okay, is there? Yeah, otherwise it could have liquidated somebody here. But anyway, let's go back to Titan X. Are people watching? Oh, damn, they are. Crazy. Yeah, more people on Twitter than on YouTube, but yeah, fair enough. It is what it is. Yeah, and then you can also, I think here's just an option. This is a bulk liquidator. Yeah, so if there's a lot of people, you can, yeah, liquidate them quicker, let's say. So the liquidator allows the rapid repayment of protocol debt in forms of liquidation during times of extreme price volatility. Okay. Use this intervention during the extreme, trigger bulk liquidation, trigger single liquidation. Yeah, so that's that. And then there's redemptions. Yeah. So redemptions, I mean, I'm gonna talk about this whole system like really once it's about to launch, because then it's gonna be, today is just a quick overview. And the quick overview was, I want to show you like how you can take a loan. I just want to show you how easy it is actually is. I guess like in the background, the whole system is interesting for sure, especially for like nerdy types of people like myself. uh Definitely extremely interesting. But yeah, so there's going to be redemptions, and I'll show you how that works as well. And then once you've taken a loan, you can actually stake it as well. I mean, you can just buy it off the market as well and just stake it. Yes, that's one point. Or you can take a loan and stake it. So that's another thing. And there's this thing called the backstop. And this is essentially a pool where you can stake your USDx. And this is when people are liquidated. Essentially, liquidation means you need um well, hold on, what was that? What was I mean, it was a bit of some time ago when I read how the liquidity works. Anyway, but we can just read it out here. USDX backstop enhances system stability by providing a pool of USDX, which is utilized for rapid offset of endangered debt during liquidations. By depositing USDX in the pool, you contribute to the pack stability and system solvency while simultaneously earning a diversified basket of ecosystem assets during liquidations. Yes, exactly. So during liquidations, like you're going, I mean, since it's a multi-collateral protocol, uh, part of those liquidations, you're gonna have part of Titanix, part of DragonX, and part of Baby DragonX. So that's going to be interesting. And I have added USDX here, so I can adjust the stake, so you can add more or less, and then yeah. Oh, and this is the pool share, so it's a pro rata distribution as it seems, and this is how much I would get at this point. And then you can exit stake. And so the beauty of this as well is like you can exit staking at any time. There's no penalty whatsoever. It's like once you're in there, you can essentially just do that. Oh, and here you can see how much you're getting, right? So I mean, this is probably even better. I mean, we have to find out about the numbers, but this is for people who are looking into LPing, because you're going to be earning passively essentially, right, from the liquidation and the fees and stuff like that. So that can be interesting. And then we have the ORX staking. So that's also something as well, which is ORX fee staking. So the ORX fee sharing pool allows ORX takers to earn a share of USDX redemptions and loan fees. Yeah, by depositing ORX into these pools, you're earning a proportional share of protocol fees. Yeah, and it's fairly simple. You deposit your ORX tokens, and then boom, you get part of pro rata distribution, and you're gonna receive all of them. So USDx, TitanX, DragonX, and Baby DragonX, or essentially like whichever will be available at the time. So, and then there's the system stats here. So you can see the aggregate health ratio, the backstop pool stats. So that's the USDX staking, I believe. That's like right. And then you can check out the issued debt, how much debt has been issued, and which of the assets has been used. And then you have the collateral TVL. Yeah, that's going to also be very important. And then here the individual collateral matrix. So definitely a lot of stats. So maybe a lot of these things will be added in Titanic sub as well. So that's going to be interesting. And then some few loan metrics here as well. And then you have the yield farm here, which is So okay, so I think USDX staking is the same as this. I guess this is the same. But nevertheless, there's also going to be for LP. So if you're going to be, stake your Uniswap V2 LP tokens. So it's going to be a V2 pool for the USDX token. Like the dollar, essentially, like the peg dollar. And I think you can stake the tokens, and potentially there's an allocation to this staking this pool, and you're gonna get the ORX token. So I guess that's something which we can talk to when the time comes. But essentially, there's gonna be a way how you can you can yield farm. So this is completely independent of Titan Farm. So that could be definitely interesting. All right. I mean, essentially, I ran through everything. I guess when time comes, I'm gonna do another stream and we're gonna go a bit more deeper into this. But so probably by the time, oh look, 36 seconds left. So one thing for sure, we're gonna wait for that, and then I'm going to adjust my debt or my loan, and then we can look how that works, because there's also like an adjustment here. So let's see if that works now. Yeah, so while we're 8 seconds, I think I can wait for that. Multi-collateral. So USDX claimable. So now I think I need to go back to Baby Dragon X. Was it Baby Dragon X? Okay, you can claim. So this open now. So I think it was it said here, but I think this was not. It took some time for this to show up, but yeah. So now I've just signed, guys. I mean, you don't see it, but I just signed my wallet there. So it's loading. Let's see. So the thing. Okay, so now, there you go. It already adjusted. So now I have I have USDX token. Am I saying that right the whole time? USDX, yeah, USDX. And I mean, I have the collateral ratio is very high, and then I have my debt. So what can I do? What I can do is like close my loan, or I can adjust. An adjustment is either, adjustment is like you can borrow more. So you can either add in more collateral. That's one, so that you don't get liquidated, because maybe the price has dropped and you're just about to get liquidated and you want to add more collateral. That's one. The other part is like you have enough collateral and you just want to add more money. So now let me see, can I add? Okay, so am I okay? Maybe how does this work now? I don't know, guys. Sorry. So I mean, yeah, you can essentially add more. Like, okay, uh, okay. So there's also in 10 minutes. Okay, so I already took 3,000. So now if I add in 4,000, that's why it's a bit more. But I don't want to wait now. But essentially, what you can do is like you can adjust. An adjustment essentially just means you can improve it. You can add more collateral because so that you don't get liquidated, or you can take a bigger loan because your collateral is big enough and you want more money, whatever for whatever reason. Maybe you want to go back. Yeah, so there's that. And then the other one is close the loan. Yeah. So there's a comment here: valuable feedback for the unknown dev to improve usability. Yeah, I mean, either is that, or maybe I was just myself, just being live here also was a bit of an issue, I guess. Yeah, but fair enough. But essentially, like, yeah, there's when you take the loan, there's that waiting time until you get it, and then you can just do that. Yeah, but nevertheless, I think he's watching as well. So, Mr. Dev, that's some feedback right there for you. Yeah, so I mean, now the question is like, okay, let's say you have this USDx, what can you do with it? Yeah, essentially you can sell it to, yeah, I mean, you can go and buy whatever you want, essentially, right? You can buy more Dragon X because like you want to leverage a little bit. Let's say, I don't know, you wanna create a Hydra miner, but you don't want to sell your Dragon X for it. Well, you can probably let's say you take 5% of that as a loan and you create a Hydra miner. So yeah, you can definitely do that. And then I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, but I mean, you still have to know that it's still leverage, right? So the higher LTV you go up to, the more dangerous it gets. So this is a tool which can be intelligently be used, or you just don't do it at all. I mean, that's just another option. Like, this is a tool which you don't need to use, but you can intelligently use it. I mean, the use cases are dime a dozen, right? There's a lot of use cases if you want to do it as well, which is I don't know. The example was, okay, creating a Hydra miner. Yeah, you have your Dragon X, you take 5% loan, like your LTV is like 95%, right? Which is the price. Essentially, the price would have to drop 95% for you to get liquidated, like simply speaking. But there's that. And then you just take the loan and you create the miner, you get the USDX, you can sell that to whatever, like Titanix, and that Titanix you can use it for the Hydra miner. And then when the Hydra miner matures, maybe you've made some gains, you can repay your debt and you get back your collateral, and there you have it, right? There's I mean, that's like one of the use cases you can do. Or you just want to, I don't know, you want to sell and you need money now, but you don't want to sell your Dragon Eggs. Yeah, like there's also that. You can do that as well. And maybe also for like tax reasons, there is probably potential a way of getting a loan using that way, because then it's not a non-taxable event. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, definitely, which can be useful. But nevertheless, it's very important to understand how the system works, especially liquidate how liquidation works, and also how the redemptions work. That's also extremely important to understand. But we're going to talk about those things more in the next stream. So before this platform launches, I'm gonna talk about that, and we're gonna go more deeper into the mechanics, how it works really in the background, and what are the things you really have to take care. Yeah, like liquidations, redemptions. You need to understand these things extremely well, because you don't want to become into a position where something has happened and you just realize like, oh, I didn't know this is how it works. And this is extremely important because for people, like, I mean, I know people for sure who have taken loans on liquidity, which is the Ethereum, and they didn't know exactly how it worked, and they were extremely yeah, when they found out, but I mean, they found out too late how it really works, and then yeah, they did not like what happened, so liquidated, or like they were redeemed against, which is something we're gonna talk definitely on the next stream. So anyway, guys, let me just do a little conclusion here. It's quite late on my end as well, but I still want to go and hit the gym, so I'm gonna go back and so. All right. Yeah. So one thing I would like to say is thank you everybody for being in the stream. Yeah, this is a bit yeah, not the usual stream as usual, but hopefully you still enjoyed. It's a bit unusual for me because I'm speaking without getting any feedback. So I'm speaking to like a own mic, and there's no feedback apart from some of you guys comments. So shout out to you guys for all the comments. But one thing for sure, if you would like to participate in Ouroboros launch in on, I think he mentioned it on my chat here, 11th of October, 11 p.m. UTC. Um, I would definitely join the Telegram group. If you want to participate, you can go in there and ask any questions. He's pretty much all there all the time, and you can ask the questions and then figure out things how you go about that. And the USDx, I think he mentioned in the chat that is going to launch 21 days later. Yeah, I guess that's going to be the case. And then, sorry guys, you can also join the Twitter. So that's that. Anyway, that's pretty much from my end. Thank you very much for being here, guys. Hopefully, I gave the protocol justice. So the way I explained it, yeah. If any questions, let me know. Otherwise, join the Telegram, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah. All right. So, Adamas, that was great. Okay. Thank you, guys.